Just like a crab, soft shell crabs, they like shed their skin. Like a snake, they shed their skin in order to grow. A hermit crab, they lose their shell in order to grow. And just because we don't have to shed anything physically doesn't mean that you shouldn't be allowed to shed anything that's in your mind mentally that's impacting you. You know what I mean? You should be able to do those things. And that's why it's so important to let go. It is. Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. My name is Kelslyn, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hello, and if you are not new here, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back. So, if you cannot tell by the title of today's video, this is episode 2 into my Girl Talk series of just some things that I have been doing and that I'm doing before my 30th birthday, before I turn the big 3-0 in August, or August 30th, Virgo season. So, yes. So if you cannot tell from the title of today's video, we are letting go of those old beliefs and letting in the new ones as we are embracing and relearning everything about life before we turn 30, before I turn 30. And even in your 30s, 40s, whatever it may be, 20s, who knows? We just need to embrace a new chapter in our life. It can be any day, a new season in our life, but that is what we are going to be talking about today, as well as some self-lumerience. So that's what our topic is for today. So what are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are the negative thoughts or assumptions that we hold about ourselves, we hold about other people, or about the world in general that can hold us back from reaching our full potential. And I don't want to not reach my full potential. So this is why I have been on this very big self-love journey and just trying to just pour into myself and become obsessed with myself before I get obsessed with a job or anything like that. I've accomplished so much in my life already, and along the way of accomplishing all those things, I forgot who I was. I lost that part of me. I lost myself. And I'm not trying to reinvent myself. The whole point of this and this journey is not about reinventing myself, but it's about going back to me and picking up the pieces that I left behind and making those things whole and watering those parts of me that I left behind, right? So that's what this whole thing is, this new chapter in my life, and I feel like we've been off to a really great start so far. So, yeah. But some examples of these limiting beliefs could be you saying that you're not good enough. You're saying that I'll never be consistent and no one wants to hear what I have to say. You could be a procrastinator. It can show up in being a perfectionist. And I am a perfectionist. And let me tell you, it has been so freaking hard just trying to navigate the perfectionism with relearning and pouring into myself and allowing myself, giving myself grace. That has been super hard. That has been one of the hardest things. Another thing can be comparing yourself to others, such as, with being a plus size girl, she's smaller than me, or she's prettier than me, or any of those things. We're taking it out. But it can also come up with self-sabotaging, starting some things and not finishing them. And I feel like I also am a self-sabotager, just a little bit. But, yeah. Um, and another way this could be is not setting boundaries. Not setting boundaries with yourself, not setting boundaries with friends, relationships, and also even at work. Because it got to a point with one of my old jobs that, and my two past jobs, as I got into my career, I wasn't setting boundaries. I was letting them people run me hot and dry, being stressed and everything. But you live and you learn. And that's what this is all about. You live, you learn, you relearn. You see? You see? So, why is it important to identify these limiting beliefs? Because you don't know what to change if you don't know what is wrong. So, on a piece of paper or even just in your head, what are some limiting beliefs that you have about yourself? You need to be able to identify them and actually want to be able to put in the work to do it. So, for example, a limiting belief. So, for example, a limiting belief could be, I'm too much. But you can change it and say, I'm full of life and I am the light. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Another limiting belief could be something that I have really been struggling with is, sometimes I may not feel pretty, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm beautiful. I have to just restructuring your brain, even on those bad days where you may not feel like you're good enough, you may not feel like you're worth it, but you have to realize this is just a moment for today. This is just one part of the puzzle compared to the entire puzzle piece. So that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get rid of these limiting beliefs. Okay, we're trying to get rid of those things. So where do these beliefs come from? The limiting beliefs can come from how you grew up, family, and your childhood and your upbringing honestly plays a huge part in how you view yourself, how, you just navigate the world and society. So that's one place. Society is also a huge thing. Beauty standards really, really mess with me. For a long time, growing up in the South, being Black, and just looking at all the beauty standards that people had and even society had, it was really rough on me. Right? And then another example of that is when I was in undergrad, I went to the University of Mississippi, a very PWI school, and I was in a dorm. On my floor, there were probably it was about 60 of us on the floor. During my freshman year in the dorm that I lived in, it was about 60 of us. And out of that 60, 57 were white. And myself and another girl from a town near my town where I grew up were Black, and the RA was Black. Everybody else was white. So I'm around these people. I'm like 17, about to turn 18. I'm around a bunch of white girls who also have never been around anybody Black, and they're talking about my hair, the way that I dress, and just certain things. And it really, that first year of my first year in college really affected me in the way that I viewed myself, the way that I thought that other people viewed me as well. So that's one way. Lived experiences really mess you up, right? But yeah, so the past shapes your current self, but we don't want the past to affect our future self. And that's the main thing. We have the past, we've been to a bunch of things, and that's why therapy can be really important to helping with us through this process. Journaling can be really important, be really helpful, and even possibly talking to someone who you trust, like a mentor or a family friend, which I probably wouldn't do, but journal or therapy. Journal therapy is the way to help you through this process of the limiting beliefs and everything. So the influence can also be generational trauma, cultural norms, and as well as societal expectations. All those things impact you. They impact your future, they impact your current self, as well as your future self. And sometimes you just have to look and see, like, how do I want my life to look? And in my next Girl Talk video, in video 3, I'm going to talk about some things that I did for a little timeline that I kind of gave myself for how I want my life to be from 29 to 35. Some goals that I've set for myself and everything. I'll talk about that in another Girl Talk. But we can't continue to allow these generational trauma to affect us. And I know it's very impactful. And that's why for me and myself, I kind of ran away from home. Not really. Don't tell my parents, family that. But it's kind of why I wanted to move away from my hometown. And I wanted to explore new places and meet new people and do those things in order to allow myself to heal for when I one day decide to be a mom or even get married. And those generational things, what I've seen and witnessed and what I have lived through, I don't want my child to live through that. And I also don't want certain things to transpire between myself and my spouse. So it's really important to do that. And if you're able to identify that, and if you're actually able to put in the work, you're doing a wonderful job. And you should keep it up. So let's move on to the next topic, which is the breakthrough, the unlearning, right? And if you're wondering why I'm looking down, I have my iPad right here, and then I have my laptop over here, and then my phone is right here. So I'm like going in a circle and looking at everything. So yeah, if you're curious. But some of the unlearning, and the next thing that I want to talk about is unlearning and breaking the cycle. So unlearning and breaking the cycle. So as I was saying earlier, it's the process of recognizing what it is that you're having difficulty with, what it is in your life, and putting in the work to unlearn those things. And sometimes I do have to, and everybody's human when it comes down to it. Everybody has those moments, but you have to move through it. If you catch yourself doing the negative talk, it's okay if it happens once or twice, because we're all human. But we have to not let it be a inconsistent thing. We have to be nice to ourselves. And I feel like sometimes with the pressure of being a great person, or with the pressure that society gives us of having to make a certain amount of money or having these timelines, it's a lot of pressure. Like, I'm about to be 29. Most people my age are married or have children, and you feel like you have this pressure because family's starting to ask you also. But it's your life, not theirs. So we have to unlearn those things. We have to unlearn that this is our life and we have to live for ourselves, and we're not trying to impress anybody else. You have to be the main character of your own life. And there is nothing wrong with that at all. So the next step in breaking the cycle is wanting to get help and putting yourself out there to get help. Because unlearning these things, and once you recognize it and unlearning it, can be very overwhelming. And that's why you want to do one thing at a time. So that's why I was saying therapy is so important. That's why I was saying journaling is so important. And even affirmations. Affirmations are really, really helpful when it comes to something. Because for example, I suffer from social anxiety, and recently, like in March, I went out to this event and I was just like, so stressed out, and I had to do some affirmations in order to calm my nerves. And another thing is also even just putting myself out there with creating these videos. It's a lot because I'm just like, well, nobody's gonna watch it. No, nobody cares. But it's about who cares if how many people watch this. Who cares as long as you're doing something that fills your cup. That's what matters. So letting go is essential to personal growth. Letting go is essential to personal growth. It is. You have to let go of things in order to grow. Just like a crab, soft shell crabs, they like shed their skin. Like a snake, they shed their skin in order to grow. A hermit crab, they lose their shell in order to grow. And just because we don't have to shed anything physically doesn't mean that you shouldn't be allowed to shed anything that's in your mind mentally that's impacting you. You know what I mean? You should be able to do those things. And that's why it's so important to let go. It is. It's so beautiful when you're able to do that. So yeah. So let's move on to our next part, which is relearning and embracing new beliefs. So we want to have these positive beliefs and we want to replace a negative one with a positive one. So, for example, one of my favorite affirmations is forgive yourself for the years you spent surviving. Forgive yourself for the years that you spent surviving. That's a really good affirmation that I love. Or become the woman who holds space for the stress, the softness, and the fire. That's a really good affirmation. So I'm becoming the woman who holds space for the softness and the fire. I'm the woman who holds space for the softness and the fire. So letting myself know that I can be this multifaceted person, because sometimes they don't like that. They don't like that you can be a strong woman, and I can be both. I can be strong and I can be soft. There's a hard side and there's a soft side. That's with everybody. That's with everyone. So, yeah. She was a fairy. But she was also a freaking python. Like, I'll bite you. I will get you. I don't care if it's a bulldog or bullfrog. Give me Alabama. I just needed to say that. That was funny. So, for example, I will just be completely honest and frank. I started my therapy journey in 2023. That's when I started going to therapy, like full on. I did do some therapy when I was in like undergrad and everything. But it helps you like unlearn some things, and actually talking to like a professional, and you're just like, oh yeah, and then like that's not normal, and you're just like, oh, that's not normal. No, it's not normal. And so you're just like, okay, you have to learn that this isn't normal. I shouldn't be doing this. This is not typical behavior. And I will say, since I've been on this journey, and it's been a very long journey, this is just right now, currently at the age of 29, this is a journey that I want to share. But Kelsey 2 years ago, when I was getting fresh into my career and everything, and just trying to navigate life, like, it's been an amazing shift. I will say. It's been an amazing shift. I'm very proud of us. It's just so good to see, like, hey, you just let yourself go. Even last week, I'm gonna post a vlog about it, but last week I went with my friend because I've been wanting to get back into myself. So one of the things that I've been doing is getting back into makeup. I did my makeup today. And I went there and I was talking to the consultant at Ulta, and I was just like, yeah, like, I've been using this foundation, but I know it's the wrong shade, and I've been using this other foundation, I know that one is also the wrong shade, and I have been using a Kat Von D, and Kat Von D hasn't sold Kat Von D has not sold concealer in forever. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that Kat Von D stopped selling concealer. And I was using it for years. I had that concealer for a long time. So, and it's just like the little things. And as I was talking to her, she was like, you know, like, it's okay. Life happens. Life comes at you hard. And you literally let go of yourself. And I let go of myself in that way. That was something that I wasn't watering. I wasn't watering my appearance. I wasn't watering the way that I presented myself to the world because I felt so bad about myself that I was showing it outwardly, and I wasn't watering it. I didn't care. I wasn't wearing makeup. I barely cared about my hair. I dyed it ginger. I was, like, in a way rebelling and just trying to learn myself all over again, right? So when I was at Ulta, so we got some stuff, y'all. We got some stuff. We're getting there. So I've been watering that part of me. I've been doing solo dates again to water myself and get myself back out there and try to get over my social anxiety that I have, and I feel like I really didn't have for a while. And it's from the way that the negative self-talk that I have, you know, the way that I feel about myself, and it causes me to get this anxiety, which isn't fun to have, which isn't, you know, fun to have. So it's been like a good shift. And I also was not taking pictures of myself. I stopped posting on social media. Like, I wasn't really taking pictures of myself compared to like a Kelsey prior, like younger Kelsey. This Kelsey was, you know, social. She did her makeup. She did these things by herself. She was very outgoing and extroverted, and I've turned into this introverted person, which is nothing is wrong with that, but it wasn't who I was. And if you watch the first girl talk, I talked about how my mom was like, what happened to the old Kelsey? What happened to the old Kelsey? So yeah. So down below, I want you guys to tell me, like, what is something that you are, what's a belief you're ready to let go of? Are you already on your journey? Have you started the journey? What has that been like? Has this given you the strength to want to start? I'm really curious to know, because when life gets hard, it gets hard. When life gets hard, it gets hard. And it will literally take, you have to fight tooth and nail to get back to it. And you have to, and I fought tooth and nail to get to where I am right now. So yeah. I fought tooth and nail. I had to put me first. What did that's what Cookie said in Empire. Taraji said in Empire. Yeah. Move on to part 2 of our video, which is about the self self-lumerience. I'll put it here. I have more space. I'll put it here. So let's talk about the self-lumerience. Let me put it right here. So self-lumerience. This is the phase where I'm just going to say we are organizing our life with intention. And that's exactly what we're going to call it. Organizing our life with intention. So the definition of self-lumerience is a phenomenon where individuals become obsessed with the idea of a perfect self, often projecting idealized qualities onto themselves or fantasizing about a future self that embodies those ideas. And so with self-lumerience, it just goes into, makes me think about my higher self and those things, like my higher self or my future self also, like where is she going to be doing, what is she going to be wearing, how is she going to have her hair, how much money is she going to have. I'm doing those things now so that it can be an avalanche effect for how myself will be in the future. So we're laying down the groundwork, we're putting the soil in the pot. And every day we're watering. Every bi-weekly we're watering, or monthly we're watering this plant. We're watering our future self with the things that we want. Like literally pouring into yourself. Literally pouring into ourselves. We like that. We like that. we like that. And so, yeah. So, self-lumerience, honestly, it goes beyond self-care. And self-lumerience is about you becoming your own muse. So, I want to start with the point of like self-care and self-lumerience. So self-care is like the foundation, right? Self-care is the foundation or the entry point, but self-lumerience is the point about embodying your power. And it's not just what you do for yourself, but it's how you allow yourself to become, right? So some of the things for my self-care is making sure I do my skincare every day. I currently have a morning routine. I'm getting into the night one. But having a skincare routine, it can be making sure that you are moisturized. So using your lotion, investing in a really nice body oil, or investing in a really good lotion to help yourself. So some examples of just self-lumerience beyond the point of self-care, just as embodiment is the way that you speak to yourself, which is why we want to stop like the negative self-talk. So saying affirmations in the mirror, or even as you're getting dressed in the morning. I love to listen to the Lucky Girl affirmations that's here on YouTube. Those are really good. So listening to affirmations as you're getting ready in the morning, or listening to like a really nice playlist with some songs. As I was doing my makeup for the video, I was listening to Bouncy. I'm the first girl to scream on the track. I switched up the beat of the drum. That's right. I'm the bust of the yacht. And that's right. I'm the one who's tattooed on his arm. Bouncy. So yeah. So even songs can really help you, and a lot of songs have affirmations in them. They're not demonic. They have affirmations. So embodiment, believing you are the woman and letting your energy walk into the room before you do. And I have been working on that. So just like when I'm getting ready, because I currently do home health for my new job. So like I'm like, okay. Like I want them to feel my energy, even though they're children. I want you to feel my presence, okay? Alright, just anywhere I go, like when I went grocery shopping earlier today, making sure that my energy is here. I'm standing tall. My head is high. I'm not looking down. Any of that, just exuding like I'm that girl. I may even sometimes be saying I'm that girl by Beyonce in my head as I'm walking. And I may be freaking out on the inside, but my future self, she's that girl. She exudes this confidence. You have to start now, because if you don't start now, when will you? When will you? If you don't start now, when will you? If you don't start now, when will you? But yes, another idea of this self-lumerience is how you move through the day. So starting with you may do a 5-minute journal in the morning, making sure you do your skincare in the morning, getting up and moving your body. One thing that I have been doing in the morning is doing my knee strengthening exercises, because my knees have been giving me a really hard time, but I've been really making it a thing to make sure that I get up and have enough time to do like 10 minutes of designated knee strengthening exercises, 10 minutes for skincare. I don't really journal in the morning, but also at nighttime, making sure that I have some time to journal. So that is how you move through the day. Walking into rooms with confidence, speaking with confidence, and also setting boundaries with people, with family, with friends, with relationships. How I move through my day sets a tone for my week, which sets a tone for my month, which sets tone for the next month, and even the year. We really have to do this. It builds. It's literally a foundation for this. And then another thing with how you move to your day, how you dress is really important, right? You want to become obsessed with yourself. So, because again, my job, it doesn't really permit for me to wear a lot of fancy outfits as I would, because I'm on the floor. But making sure I have on like a really nice shirt, making sure my hair is done up, my edges are done. If I feel like doing makeup, making sure I do my makeup, making sure my nails are done are some things that I've been doing and wanting to do. And just even when outside of work, when I go out, for example, when I went and got groceries, I wanted to make sure that I look cute. I put on some cute shoes and put on a cute t-shirt and wore my purse and put my sunnies on. Like, yeah, like this is who I am. Like, yeah. So it just sets the tone. And when I did my friend date with my friend last weekend, making sure that I was dressed up really nice, instead of just wearing like leggings and a t-shirt, but actually putting thought into my outfit that I wanted to wear, and just putting a lot more thought and energy. Like, it matters, because if you don't feel pretty, a lot of people notice that, so yeah. And then another thing for self-lumerience, I have one more talking point, is setting the vibe for your space. So that means cleaning your space, maybe lighting a candle if you have a candle warmer. Even lighting is really important. I have this cool light here in my room, which I love. Curating an environment that you really love. I have my jewelry on my nightstand over here. I'm gonna finish decorating this, so maybe in the next video this background may be completely different, but just curating a space and a vibe for myself and an area for myself that I really love. So I want my space to be an altar for me, right? A reflection of my energy, and not just a place for me to come home to and crash, right? You want to take pride in You want to take pride in your space because it's an extension of you. And that's what I have been doing. Like, making sure my bed is made up, vacuuming, making sure my room smells good, making sure things are put away. But we all have our moments where we're not able to keep that up all the time, right? We all have our moments where for 2 weeks, I may not clean this room because I'm going through something. But that's human, that's natural. But it's about what you do after that. Like, okay, time to get this show back on the road. Time to get back moving and grooving. Time to get back moving and grooving. And my next to last talking point about self-lumerience is creating or putting myself first, which is really important. At one point, and a teensy bit of me, I was a people pleaser. And so what I've been doing is putting myself first. So I'm really into art, so trying to create in a certain way, or even making my YouTube videos, for example. I don't have many, but this is something that I want to do and I want to continue to do, and it's something that I have put off for years and years and years and years. And here is the time for me to be able to do that. So it's never too late to start. And I really love doing this. And yeah, like this whole thing is about putting you first. And I'm not going to wait for the world to validate me. And I feel like that is what has put it off for so long, is I've been waiting for someone to validate me. I've been waiting for the reassurance. And I don't need anybody else's validation but my own. Right? You don't need anybody else's validation but yours. So I'm not waiting for the world to validate me. I make content for the girl that I was, and I'm making content for the woman that I'm becoming. Like that's what it is, and that's what it's all about. Like with this whole journey for myself, and I want to document it, and I want other people to see this beautiful journey that I have been on and that I am on. So, yeah. And it's okay to become self-obsessed, but in a very healthy way. Not self-obsessed to the point where you are overanalyzing everything that you're doing, overanalyzing what you're putting in your body. Because I'm in like some health groups, and one of the things that I have also been targeting on this journey with self-love and before I turn 30 is my health. My health has been a really important thing, and I have lost a really good amount of weight. I've lost like 20 pounds, so that's really good. So I can sometimes, and even in the groups that I'm in on like Facebook or that I may see on TikTok, is people like limiting themselves or being upset because they ate an extra 100 calories or they had a freaking cookie. Eat the cookie. It is okay to eat the cookie. It's not the end of the world. And that's what it is. You're human. And people, and even just having to realize like it's okay to want that thing. If you're eating healthy 80% of the time, 90% of the time, it's okay for you to have your guilty pleasure that 20 or 10% of the time, So that is an example of that. And also another thing with the self-lumerience is I'm going to stop being this humble, selfless person. And I feel like I've been humble, and not in a rude, nasty way. I hope you can tell that I'm not like a nasty person. I'm a really nice person. But like I really like don't brag about myself a lot. I don't really share a lot of my accomplishments and things. But honestly, screw all that. I'm bragging. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I am that. Yeah. So no, it's no more humble. It's no more selfless. That's me. I did that by myself. I do this. I am her. I'm very educated. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, respect me. Put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name, please. You know what I mean? So, and I just feel like maybe it's the way that I grew up. I was taught to be very humble. Um, and I am very humble, even still. But it's also like, wait, let me toot my own horn. Toot toot. Let me toot my own horn. Beep beep. Like it's okay to do that. And being the center of my universe, but not in a selfish way, but in a more grounded way. Just being more intentional with my time. So, for example, instead of being on the phone, just talking to other people, I'm like, hey, I was really listening to my book. Hey, it was really nice talking to you, but I want to read my book right now. I'll call you tomorrow. I love that conversation. Or when I get home from work, listening to music for an hour, or before I try to talk to other people, really reading my books the way that I want to, and just prioritizing myself. Because I feel like for so long you just do what other people want, and especially if you're a people pleaser, you lose sight of you, like literally, and nobody wants to continue to lose sight of themselves. I want it to be all about me. All about me. So yeah, but in a nice way. I do care about other people, but it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to be selfish. And some ways that I am practicing self-lumerience, which I feel like I talked about, but just to specify some ways that I am the way that I am practicing self-lumerience. I do my skincare. I journal, the way that I'm presenting myself to the world. So basically, like all the ways that I told you, I'm basically doing all of that. The only thing that I really need to do is get back to working out. I'm taking it slow this week. I've been taking it slow and just doing my knee exercises because my knees, I think from doing like pole class and things, my knees, and also like getting down on the floor up with working with children, it's taking a toll on me. And also with getting older, if you don't use it, you lose it. So really focusing on like my flexibility and my mobility is the number one thing before I really start back going hardcore in the gym, because I was doing the 75 soft challenge and I tapped out after day 10. I went bleep. But excuse me, but I am going to get back to it very, very soon. So yeah, I went after day 10, I crashed. So the next time I do, and when I get back to the gym, I do want to take it slow compared to how I started. You live and you learn. I'm unlearning what I did in the past so that I can have a more successful workout routine and everything like that. So yeah. But you want to have your inner glow up. So really, another thing with self-lumerience is having your inner glow up. So you want to change your mindset. So doing those affirmations, visualizing your higher self, being the delusional, why not? If it's a healthy delusion, why not? So, imagining your higher self. Oh my goodness, my hair. Imagining your higher self and doing those affirmations. can really help you. So an affirmation that you can do is saying, I am now, I'm worthy now. An affirmation that you can use to help with your inner glow up is saying, I am worthy now, not when I reach my goal. Right? And that, even for me, that is something that I say all the time. Like, I am worthy now, not when I reach my goal. Because if I don't think that I'm worthy now, well, I think I'm worthy when I reach the goal after so much mental turmoil that I put myself through. Let's think about that. And the next thing was self-lumerience. It's all a big circle. Is setting boundaries, saying no to things, and without guilt, and being able, even without explaining yourself to people, because sometimes you don't even owe people an explanation as to why you're not doing something, because 9 times out of 10 they know why you're saying no. 9 times out of 10 they know why you're saying no, and they themselves wouldn't do it. And releasing comparison and embracing your uniqueness. And I'm embracing my uniqueness, my character, my self-expression. I'm a unique girl. So embracing that uniqueness is really important. Setting those boundaries are really important. And also cutting out toxic people, cutting out people who do not fill your cup, cutting out people who do not help you become your higher self, your greater self, who are not helping you at all. They're literally hindering you. And one thing that I have been doing is that I reclaim my energy, I reclaim my love, I reclaim my power, and that has been really helping me to do, because I was getting out of the toxic situation. He was like an energy vampire. And just with dating in general, that's another topic. That's another girl talk. But what will your self-lumerience era look like? What does that look like for you? What would you do for your self-lumerience what would you do for your lumerience era? And what would that look like? I want you to tell me one thing that you would do after watching this video to help you reach your higher self. What would you do? What mindset would you change? What affirmation are you saying to yourself to help you reach your higher self? Alright guys, so I am going to end the video here. Thank you so much if you made it to the end. Please comment a green heart below, as well as tell me one affirmation that you will be using during your self-lumerience era to help you embrace or re-embrace your new self on this journey to self-love. So comment that down below. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, and bye. I'll see you in episode 3. Bye. Cookie said an empire. Taraji said an empire. Yeah. Making sure I have on like a really nice shirt. Making sure my hair is done.